thanks to the support as a channel member, Alan Todd. Well, today we have the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City and what we hoped would be a Champions League qualification showdown against Tottenham. Unfortunately, we've been a little bit bottly in our last couple of matches, so even if we win both of these, the Champions League is going to be a tall order for us this season. Hello and welcome to Club 2, part 28 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that FA Cup semi-final at Wembley against Manchester City, top of the table Manchester City, and then we also go to Tottenham knowing that we must win to leave ourselves with any chance in the race for Champions League qualification. A race, I would like to point out, we're not even supposed to be in, so it doesn't matter that much. We've not won a game in the Premier League in 4. We've drawn our last 2 matches against West Ham and against Leeds, 2 teams we definitely, if we're a Champions League team, should be capable of beating. You add that on to the defeat at Villa, the draw against Manchester United, and you have to go a long way back to Crystal Palace nearly 2 months ago to see when we last won in the Premier League, and the table does reflect that. 5 games to go. We are down in 5th place, 58 points on the board, and probably at this point should be looking down towards Villa, Chelsea and Arsenal rather than looking up towards Tottenham. The trajectory of our season is going in only one direction. The question is, are we going to be able to put together a big performance one more time to find a way past Manchester City and book a second successive FA Cup final? We do have previous. We beat them at our place back in December, but of course that was when we were in incredible form, and we are not currently in incredible form. So let's see what we can do. This is the team. We're going with Blanco in goal, a back four of Marin, Jovic, De Klerk and Walters. Juan at the base of the midfield, Rafa and White ahead of him, Rojas on the left, Sartori on the right and Reyes up front. As ever, we'll have the opportunity to swap Marin and Rojas around if the match dictates it. But I think we're starting with wingers today, with the idea being let's just get some crosses into the box and hope Reyes can just do the simple things. Trying to be fancy and pass the ball around like superstars works for us when we're playing really, really well, less so when we're not. So for today, back to basics a little bit. 2 wingers. Let's see if we can just get some crosses in there and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, like I say, we've got the capacity to switch it up as needed. We could even put Marin onto the right, Sartori onto the left and go full on 2 inverted wingers, and Rojas playing as an overlapping left back. But Rafa has done great work bursting out of midfield here. He's got Reyes inside of him, and Reyes is there with the finish. I don't know if he's managed to keep himself on side there. It was great work from Rafa bursting out of midfield, but had Reyes snuck offside, the referee has his finger in his ear and has disallowed the goal. And this has been a little bit of a theme of our recent run of matches where we do good stuff, good things appear to be happening, and then they're taken from us. Lots of disallowed goals, lots of decisions going against us, penalties against us, that kind of thing. And it seems like the entire game has turned on us since Christmas, almost as if, and I refuse to acknowledge this is the actual reason, almost as if you sell like 3 or 4 senior players, even if they're not regular starters anymore, but if they're team leaders and senior players within the team, and replace them with untried youngsters, even if they're more talented, it's almost as if that has an effect on the mentality and the dynamics at the football club. And it might not have just been about football and talent, and maybe we should have kept some of the older, more experienced team leader types around just to keep the lads' heads up, because at the moment we've got a bunch of very young players who are very, very talented, but do have a little bit of a tendency for their heads to drop. As you would expect with a young team, form is very up and down. It's going to be an incredible side soon. It's not quite there. When it all clicks, we look sensational. But if it doesn't click early on in a match, we seem to go the other way and just really start to labour and struggle in the match. So fingers crossed we can have another opportunity for another early goal here, because if we don't get the early goal, we do tend to struggle. Like I say, Jovic now playing it forward to Rojas on this left-hand side. He can't get hold of the ball, but he does win it back. Now, can we find the cross? He doesn't cross it. He's literally there to cross the ball to Reyes. He gave the ball away and then had a shot when he should have had a cross. I'm going to give it until halfway through this first half before we shuffle things around, unless we concede here, and go with the inverted wingers and drop Rojas back. But, oh, my word, they've hit the inside of the post, and somehow we've got away with it. My arm reached down to the mouse to start switching things around, but we have got away with it. There was a potential shout for a Man City penalty there as well, but once again, we got away with it. There's lots of getting away with it at the moment. How much longer can we get away with getting away with it against the best team in the Premier League? So, I mean, they've got Erling Haaland lurking around amongst our defenders, which is never a nice thing to see. De Klerk now playing it out to Sartori on this right-hand side. And now Reyes has dropped deep. And what a pass that is for Harvey White, who can't keep his shot down. And it remains 0-0. That was a huge opportunity. And you would have absolutely have backed Harvey White in that situation. He's been so reliable for several seasons now, but just couldn't keep his shot down. We miss again from the corner. De Klerk has forced another one, though. But what a pass from Reyes it was, dropping deep and playing an absolute beauty. It's White. It hit the outswinger from the other side, looking for De Klerk, who doesn't get a solid contact on it. It ends up back with Juan. We've seen him score from that kind of range before, but he doesn't have a go for it today. It's another corner with White. We seem to be piling on the pressure at the moment. This time, Jovic can't climb above Haaland. It falls to Jovic again, and it's probably not the man we wanted it to fall to in that situation. One of our centre-backs to have a pop from range, right? We are shuffling around. So Rojas goes to left back, Sartori left wing, Marin right wing. Both of the wingers set up as inverted wingers now to try and get them a little bit more narrow, a little bit more involved with Reyes, and try it that way round, see if it makes a difference. The flexibility of our new boys, it is fun to be able to make those changes. It's less fun where when you're in the process of making them, that happens. So we have, I mean, the change hasn't even gone through, I don't think. Either that or it went through immediately. Who's at left back? Who is that? That is Rojas. So literally the change happened and they immediately scored. We're not going to blame the tactical change on that. Nope. We're not going to blame the tactical change. We might switch it back at half time though. We don't want to switch it back immediately because then I'll look like a silly goose and that'd be like me admitting it was my fault that it happened. Right, Marin on the right-hand side now, trying to close down the City left back. They're knocking the ball around like they're us, and Reyes very nearly taking it off of Laporte, but they're as calm with this as we are. It's terrifying, I'm sure, as a Manchester City fan to see it happening. Probably less terrifying for them than it is for me when we do it. But their defenders were always in control there, and now Cancelo is coming down our left-hand side. Rojas has got to try and deal with that. It's the shot from range, and yeah, both those goals have come down this wing since we made that change. So I tell you what, we are going to change back now and pretend it never happened. There's no logical reason why Marin should be a better defender than Rojas. They are both. They should both be equally rubbish at it. I don't want to see the goal. What I do want to do is see us get back to when we were camped out in their area. Remember when we were doing all those corners and we nearly scored? Oh. Well, we're not going to the FA Cup final this year, are we? This season has absolutely fallen apart, and we are now just... We've got to turn our attention to trying to cling on. I don't want to see any of the replays for any of these goals. They're all making me sad. I do firmly believe that the transfers we made in January are for the best long-term interests of the club, and I've got to keep reminding myself that not only is Champions League not important this year, that's a lovely goal from De Klerk, but just getting into Europe in general isn't a big deal this year. We don't need to qualify for Europe. If we finish 8th, that's a good season. It'll be a tough one to take when you look at where we were in December, but long term, I think the club will be all the better for being able to go out and bring in the likes of Marin and Rojas, who we wouldn't have been able to get otherwise. We wouldn't have had the money for them. Right, let's bring on Ross, and Sartori can go over to that side. I think they're definitely upgrades on Ballo-Touré and Ida, for example. I can't remember who else left in January. Longstaff? Did Longstaff leave as well? Can't even remember if Longstaff is still here. Oh, and we brought in Andre Santos as well. That one, there's less of a good argument for that change. But to be honest, if you look at the match stats, we're better than City today. They've just been more efficient than us in front of goal. We've as usual created far more chances than we're able to convert because we don't have that prolific goal scoring presence. Reyes, I don't know. He's a very good player, but he is not a like killer prolific goal scorer. And Manchester City have Erling Haaland. So, you know, it was always going to be tough for us today. Ross trying to get hold of the ball. Juan does very well to turn the play back over in midfield. And there is Reyes. And what a save that is from Ederson. Goodness me. Reyes has had some chances today, but that one, you can't lay any blame at his door. That was a world-class piece of goalkeeping. And now Harvey White with the corner only gets to Reyes, who gives it back to him. Now runs into the area and drills it across goal, but Haaland is there to clear. He is everywhere for Manchester City. Not anymore. He's now gone off, which, you know, he's done his job today. He's only scored one of them, but he was a constant threat. They're 3-0 up with 20 minutes to go. What's the point in him still being on the pitch? Santos is going to come on now. We're also going to take off Sartori and bring on Stevanovic. And I think we're probably going to take off White as well, who's had a little bit of a troubling afternoon. So we can bring on Antas to play in central midfield. He doesn't get to do very often. Normally I play Antas wide and stick Sartori in central midfield. But on this occasion, Sartori starting. So Antas gets the chance to try his hand at being the Mazzala. They can both play there quite comfortably. We've just got quite a lot of players who can play that similar role. We've got a lot of little tippy-tappy, fancy passing central midfield or attacking midfield players who we can play centre mid. We can play them out wide. We can play them as an attacking midfielder if we wanted to use such a thing. Ross wins the ball back, finds Reyes, who tries to beat his man. Actually, Reyes has done brilliantly there. What a goal from Ignacio Reyes. Is there any chance we find out? I've written this one off, but it's now 3-2. They don't have Haaland on the pitch anymore. And that was brilliant from Reyes. After I was a little bit critical of him again, he has just shown his pace and power, and what a finish. He's hit that through Ederson in goal for Manchester City. And all of a sudden, with 10 minutes to go, 15 probably, we're in with a chance. De Klerk is shattered, so Frangolo is going to come on for him. And, right, let's pay proper attention because Santos isn't a playmaker, but Rafa is. Let's do that and make the playmaker a little bit further forward. Surely not. Come on, let's offer a little bit of encouragement. Is this just the world giving us a little bit of a taste of what we could have won if that goal hadn't been disallowed earlier? Yeah, we're not going to get another highlight, are we? It's just teasing us. The world is just teasing us. Fantastic. Well, it's not as embarrassing as it could have been, but it is another defeat. It's been a long time since we've won a football match now. There's your confirmation. Youthful Preston, come unstuck. Maybe we need to sign a couple of slightly older, more experienced players in the summer, just to act as dad to these players. And now we've got to go to Spurs and try and get a result, or else Europe of any flavour starts to look difficult. We've got to get some kind of flavour, surely. So a few changes for the Spurs game then as we try and inject some life back into the team. Rojas, of course, is injured. So Oscar comes back in at left back. Valente and Ramsey both coming into the defence as well. Andre Santos is going to start in midfield. We're going to go Antas on the left, Ross on the right, Watson up front. Believe it or not, Jim Watson is considered our key player and is also the player highest up the player list on the Premier League Media Dream 11 thing, and scores really prolifically internationally. I mean, his goal return hasn't been too bad for us. 7 goals from 14 starts. If you compare that to Reyes, who in the league has 15 from 19 starts. So Reyes is more prolific. And he did score. Oh, I don't know. Who's my best striker? Do we need to find a way to play both? Should we be playing Watson behind Reyes? Is that the answer? Do we abandon this 4-3-3? And maybe that's the plan for the summer. Switch to a 4-2-3-1 and play Watson behind Reyes. But then you sacrifice Juan, who is one of our better players as well, who's an absolute superstar in that role. You don't really want to play him further forward because he gets in the way of Rafa then. So they'd both want to be that playmaker in midfield. You'd need White or Santos plus Juan or Rafa. I would suggest. By the way, while we're talking about which players are good and which are not, Zelmar Blanco, we've not checked in on him for a little while. Still only 19 years old. Turns 20 in a week's time. He finished third on the next gen. There you go. Single third place in next gen to his name, and is now valued at close to 100, or close to, if not over 100 million pounds. He is going to be the best goalkeeper in the world at some point. Hopefully, while I'm still managing him. That would be nice. Even if we leave Preston, I think job number one, bearing in mind how difficult it can be to find decent new gen goalkeepers, I think no matter where we end up next, we need to go somewhere where we can afford to bring him with us and take him there as our forever goalkeeper throughout the entire save, because he is going to be one of the best in the world. I am pretty sure of it. Right, Valenti and Juan and Blanco and de Klerk, between all of them. I mean, they're making Harry Kane chase around, which is always fun. Oh, for goodness sake. That doesn't make me very happy. That really doesn't make me very happy at all. I like when we do this, but to give it away to him, of all people. Oh, my word. Well, I hadn't even had a chance to put the league table on. I still haven't had a chance to put the league table on, but I'll give you a clue. That certainly kills off any hopes of Champions League if it ends like this. And like I say, it's touch and go whether we're even going to make it into Europa League, Conference League, any kind of Mickey Mouse European competition. We're going to struggle to get into the Intertoto Cup or the Anglo-Italian Cup at this rate, because we are just absolutely in free fall. Our form has disappeared completely. And yeah, it's not ideal. Can we put the league table on? There we go. That's the situation. I may be painting a slightly bleaker picture than what is reality. There's 4 games to go. We are still in 5th place, but I don't see where our next win is coming from. We've still got to play Arsenal as well, who are one of the teams chasing us. I think we play Arsenal on the last day. So that's going to be troublesome. And oh my word. Well, we didn't seem to know how to defend that, did we? Oscar is on his way back from injury. He's not completely fit. It's no excuse. You got to deal with wingers running at you if you're a fullback. Watson does well to bring the ball down there. This is good work from Watson. And, I mean, that's outside of the penalty area. So the referee can stick his finger in his ear all he likes. It's just going to be a free kick. It's quite a clever positioning of the challenge from Porro. I was completely sure it was just outside the area, which means the free kick is likely to be no real threat. Let's have a little look at it, though. Who's taking it? Ramsey. Hopefully going to curl one into that far post where the big boys will be lurking. There is one of them. De Klerk gets a good contact with it, but it is cleared off the line by whoever it was who cleared it off the line. Some Spurs player. And now Santos trying to play it back into the area. It eludes everybody, including Jim Watson, and it remains 1-0 to Tottenham. We looked bright there. It was a little moment of hope, but we had little moments of hope against Manchester City. We've had moments of hope in a lot of the games in this run. It's not that we're playing particularly badly. It's just that the belief is gone. And Blanco's been made to look a right wally there. Oh, dear me. After all those nice things I've just said about Blanco, he has just been completely turned inside out by Mudryk there. Let's have a little look at this from the other angle. He is causing us problems. He sent Blanco the wrong way and then just dinked it over the top of him. He's dinked it over the top of where he was before he sent him the wrong way. It's double humiliation for Blanco, and Spurs just keep on coming. Blanco, luckily, still has the confidence to step out and just pluck the ball out of the sky, which is nice. But all other confidence in this team it's disappearing. Do we try this 4-2-3-1? Do we go good old-fashioned 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress? I don't think I've used a Gegenpress on this save at all yet. Maybe it's time to give the good old Gegenpress a try. Watson's been fouled there. That's got to be a red card as well, referee. Red card and penalty. He's on a yellow card already. That's got to be a second yellow card and a penalty. Please let us have our route back into the game, referee. Right, we have a penalty. Send that guy off as well, ref. How is it not? If he hadn't been booked, it would have been a yellow card. That's unacceptable. Harvey White against his former club. I mean, that's a penalty. He has hit that with his foot. Goodness me. 9th goal of the season for Harvey White. And we potentially are back in this. Or is it just another one of those little glimmers of hope that I mentioned before? We keep getting little glimmers of hope. They don't mean anything. It's the hope that kills you. Goodness me. Right. Spurs on the attack again. I think we're going to go 4-2-3-1 for the second half. I think we're just going to go for it. We've not used a 4-2-3-1 at all at Preston, but we're just going to give it a go and see what happens. We're going to play Watson in behind Reyes. Here is Watson trying to get something going, drifting out onto the right-hand side. Ross is charging into the area. There's no one in there to support him. Ross has to go it alone and forces the corner. I mean, he did have Antas in the middle, actually, who I hadn't noticed, and I guess he didn't notice either, but it's White with the in-swinging corner. De Klerk is there, and that is a good save. We are banging on the door. We could be level by half-time here. It's going to be White with another one of these corners. We know we're a threat from set pieces. He's going for the far post this time. Valente this time with the header. Can't keep it down, but we look the most likely to score at the moment. It's another case of us being ahead on XG in a match that we're ultimately losing. It's happening time and time again. We need to stop it from happening. We also need to stop lunging in the penalty area. There's been a couple of times today where I'm a little bit surprised we haven't given away a penalty. Blanco has been completely wrong-footed once again there, but this time is saved by the post. Is now the time to risk it all and go to a 4-2-3-1? I don't even know. Have we been training one? We've got a control possession defensive midfield variant. Right, kill that with fire. No one wants 2 DMs in their team. And I mean, this is probably a bad idea. We've got no tactical familiarity. And I have been preaching constantly how you have to have at least 1 DM in FM23. It is the big difference between 23 and 22. 22, this worked a treat. 23, you've got to have a DM. Defensive sweeper keeper. Okay. And I'm going against all of my own rules. So I think we do that as the midfield. And then you bring on Reyes. The front four, I think that's more effective than what we've had. The midfield, I worry about. It'll be fine. Let's get corner instructions on as well. Load all routines. These are the same ones that are on the Steam Workshop. We don't want long throws being added in. We also want to take out pervert corners, which are short corners, which pretty much don't work on FM23. I don't think the short corner. I certainly haven't got a short corner routine that works just yet, but we'll do that and we'll see what happens. It looks good. It's a way to get Watson and Reyes playing together, which is probably a good thing. Right. Come on then. I mean, no one is expecting us to come out for the second half and do this because we've never done it before. I've never done it in the entirety of this career. It's completely unheard of. I've just said in 15 minutes at half time, go do a Gegenpress. That looks fun. And immediately, within 90 seconds, David Antas has gone, why didn't you say so, boss? I'm going to go and do a Gegenpress. And that's exactly what we've done. And we are level. And are we going to be saved by the revolutionary Football Manager tactic of the 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress? No one's ever tried it before. No one knows if it will work. But it seems to be working so far. Ramsey to Juan. Juan playing it forward to Antas, who I've just realised I'm playing as an inside forward when he's supposed to be an inverted winger. Both of these I normally play as an inverted winger. I guess I'm leaving them as inside forwards because he scored a goal. Let's leave them as inside forwards, I suppose. It's not what I would normally do. I like the inverted winger this year, but maybe inside forwards are back. Who knows? Encourage the team again. If we can grab another goal here, we go ahead and we go within... Okay, Kev maths. We would go level on points with Spurs. Do we go above them if we win this? because we've got a better goal difference. Does a win here put us back in the top 4? Oh, I didn't realise it was that important. Oh, no. Oh, now it's a disaster. Right. Stevanovic is going to come on. And that will do. Now, what does Watson want to be when he grows up playing in this role? Shall we make him a shadow striker? Can you play a shadow striker behind an advanced forward? I don't know if that's a good idea. Normally, I would play a shadow striker behind a more defensively minded attacker. But needs must. We want a goal. De Klerk is there. It's fallen to Juan, who gives it to Stevanovic, who can just have a pop from here if he wants to, but he can't keep it down. Come on, boys. The Champions League is at stake. There must be a goal in us somewhere. We have been the better team today. Antas shoots from range, and it's pushed wide of the post by the goalkeeper. We've got another corner. We have had some corners today. It's going to be White once again, looking to swing it in to that near post where De Klerk is lurking. De Klerk is there again, and he heads wide. We are bombarding Spurs at the moment. Valente, it falls to De Klerk again, and it's straight at the... De Klerk has had so many chances. Oh, my word. Too right, you want to slow the play down, Mr. Spurs goalkeeper. Valente to De Klerk, and now it's all the way back to Blanco. We've got 15 minutes. We are all over Spurs, looking for a winner in this game, and a route back into those Champions League spots. Oscar heads forward to Antas, who is shattered, and Sartori needs to come on in a minute, but Antas is going to have one more burst into the penalty area. He plays it across, or he was looking to play it across, I think, trying to find, I think that was Reyes in the middle, but there's no point keeping Antas on as tired as he is when we've got Sartori sat right there. And in actual fact, I think we're going to take off Harvey White as well and get Rafa on in central midfield. 2 more changes, more energy into the team. Come on, boys. Have we got a winner? And it's Reyes. Couldn't quite get there before the goalkeeper. We're so close. Come on, boys. There's got to be a football in us. Do them at their own nonsense. They did us with one of these early in the match. Win the ball back now. Press them. I hear that's what you do in a Gegenpress. Press them. Press them. Press them some more. Oh, my word. Look at them faffing around with the football, but then they lump it forward. And, yeah, this could be problematic because we don't have that DM now. So we are going to be a little bit more susceptible to counter-attacks. Well, we've certainly given it more of a go in this second half. Go attacking, demand more. Come on, boys. Somebody do something. Please. Please, somebody do something. Why have they gone to inverted wingers now? Well, Champions League definitely can't happen. I think we might do a 4-2-3-1 for the rest of the season, though. We've got 4 games left. What have we got to lose? We are collapsing. Yeah, we definitely can't get in the Champions League, but we've got to try and cling on to this spot. We play Arsenal on the last day. So we'll be back tomorrow with Wolves and Arsenal for the final 2 games of the season. They are 2 teams that could both still finish above us. This is going right down to the wire. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching.